So thank you for joining us and welcome to the first SaleSqueze webinar in the series that we are planning for until the end of this year. And today we're going to talk about the quotation process. So why improving that process helps you dominate the market and beat the competition. And I'm going to walk you through a use case where this is really evidential. So how we helped a company from Slovenia capture a lot of market demand through a build and price configurator and purely digital experience. So first, a few introductory words. My name is Leon. I'm the co-founder and CEO at SaleSqueze. We're a company that is all about product configuration and making sales efficient for manufacturing companies and companies that sell highly complex products. But what is more important, and what I will show you today, is how we helped our customers generate over $500 million in quotations in the last 2-3 years with about 300 configurators. So the agenda for today is I'm going to walk you briefly through the use case story of one of our customers. The company is called Armat, and they are the regional market leader for a really complex but really beautiful carports. And then we're going to quickly go into how companies usually approach selling complex products. We're going to look at what's wrong with that, and then finally check how this could be improved and how to build a revenue system around a build and price configurator that really helps you to capture the entire market demand that is, out there, and only through digital. So a few people are still joining us, but nevertheless, I will continue. So the use case that I'm going to be talking about today is a self-service build and price configurator that's mostly intended for serving the B2C market for a company called Armat. And what the company is all about. So they are a market leader for high quality carports. They are present on Slovenian and Croatian market, so the northern part of Croatian market, overall covering around, let's say, a 3 million market. They're a Slovenian-based family-run construction company, and they're currently at around 35 employees with a 17% year-over-year growth rate. They are innovative market leader, especially because they focus a lot of their effort on making the customer experience really good for their buyers, and you will see later on why that is really important. Just to describe the use case, I would like to present some numbers. So whenever we start a project with a customer, we set some success metrics, and in this case that I'm presenting, all the success metrics were reached after the first 90 days of our cooperation. So the first metric that is really important is reducing quote generation time. We managed to reduce it by 66%. They used the channel to receive 1,800 inquiries in the total value of roughly 12 million euros. They increased their quote generation by almost 5x. And in that 90 days, they increased their sales by 40% compared to the previous year. But that's only the first 90 days. So I would like to share with you what happened later on. So here's a quick customer testimonial that proves that the case was successful, but what is more important, the success is continuous. So how it looks like 30 months after we started collaboration with the build and price configurator. So their average generated quotes per month went way up. They are currently at around 3.6 million in quote value per month. And what is the most interesting part is that customers generate the quotes by themselves, by using the bill and price configurator. So sales guys have zero work to send out the initial quotation. They just focus on other activities and help to guide deals in. So with the solution, we lowered the sales cost. And what is also important for a manufacturing company, we standardize their product. So what is available on the website can be sold, and it's a lot easier and a lot more manageable to run a sales process when you have a standardized product. So in terms of that, we can say the ROI is definitely reached, and it's continuously being delivered to this customer. So now I would like to jump into how companies sell complex configurable products today. We've done a lot of conversations, and we have more than 100 customers in several different verticals, from B2C, B2B, B2B2C, complex manufacturing, consumer products. But what is a common ground for all these companies is that a customer wants to get a price quote from the manufacturer as soon as possible, but sales guys usually struggle to deliver that. And there's a good reason. So based on what we experience on a daily basis, is the process behind to get a quotation out is usually very, very complex, and it involves consulting with a lot of people to really get the configuration, pricing, lead time, to be able to get back to the customer. And this process usually takes 1 to 4 weeks. It's manual, and it requires quite a lot of touch points, and produces a very low win rate. So if we sum it up, we can say that the focus of the sales team is majority of the focus is on quoting, not closing deals, because more quotes you send out, more opportunities you have to close those deals. There's excessive communication both on the buyer and on the sales side, which causes delays and produces not happy people. So there's also low sales efficiency and usually a high level of stress. And there's slow decision times because customers usually can't see what they are actually buying. So there's only a communication via phone or email, and it's really hard to picture what exactly it is that you are getting, especially because configurable products are usually high priced. So in terms of the Carport example that we were viewing before, the product price is 8,000 euros plus. So slow decisions are really slowing the entire sales process down. And the last part, customers wait weeks to get a quote. If you ever experience that, or if you go through forums, there's tons of customers complaining about how long they have to wait to get a quotation. And all they want is just to get a price quote and lead time really fast. So they usually default or buy from the company that can provide this very fast, especially in this day and age. So I would like to show you how a beautiful bill and price configuration experience changes everything. So it really brings significant change into the sales process. And in terms of Carports, what it brings is people have the ability to, explore and learn everything about the product self-serve. So they don't have to talk to sales. They don't have to talk to anybody. They can just click around, see the visualization of the product, which and then also can send an inquiry and receive an instant quotation. And what is good about it, it's same-day quotation. So they get a price quote in roughly 5 minutes, and they can play around to see, what is good for their budget, what is good for their desires, and find the price performance scenario that works for them. It's really simple and fun to use if it's done correctly, and it's basically available 24/7 in any possible language on the company website. So it's a totally self-serve channel where customers can do the majority of work by themselves. And now I would like to show you what customer demands look like for carports. So if you go to Google Trends and type in the keyword carport, you will see that there's, you know, rising and declining demand, but it's a consistent demand through time. This shows us that customers are looking for information online to educate themselves about carports. Usually this shows a buying intent, and now I would like to show you how it looks like if you capture that demand. So this is the actual data of the sales funnel, aggregated of course, but it shows how this company has really managed to capture this demand on a huge level. So in 30 months, they were able to capture 12,500 inquiries with total value of 110 million euros, which is a huge success for them. And you can see that the chart corresponds to the demand on the market, more or less. And this is totally self-serve. So this is a web channel supported with what we call a build and price funnel that runs some advertising. I will show you that later on. But this is totally self-serve. So 110 million on a 3 million market. This is the power that the build and price configurator brings into your sales organization. So why is it important to have such a tool? So most companies sell only to the 3% of customers that are ready to buy, but there's a huge buyer pyramid below that where customers are basically in different stages of the buying process, and they need to be educated in order to buy the product at the end. So majority of companies focus their sales efforts on the contacts that directly reach out. So send an inquiry, fill out the contact form, raise their hand, or call the company. But there's a huge opportunity below that. And build and price configurators actually help the customers become ready to buy from you. So they educate the customer, they teach them all about the product, and you probably know that when you are in a learning phase, getting ready to buy something, you are seeking advice. So a configurator acts as a guiding tool or provides guidance to learn everything there is about the product that you are selling. So you become the leading provider or the expert in the eyes of the customer, which highly increases your chances to sell the product at the end. So build and price configurators help the bottom 97% to educate themselves and become ready to buy from you. And based on our research and history, there are basically 3 steps to capture this demand and to go for market domination using a build and price configurator. So the first one is to actually create a build and price configurator for your product, which is not so difficult to do. We made it really easy to do. The second one is you designed a streamlined funnel for it. So we call it a build and price funnel. I will show later on how it looks. And the third is just seize the market demand and dominate the market. It's that easy, believe it or not. So when it comes to the build and price configurator, the customer experience part is really the most important thing. So what we use as a best practice is we try to prioritize impactful personalization first. So imagine a customer coming to your website, they have some visual in their mind what they are looking for, and in the configuration process we usually prioritize the features that give the most impact to the end product. This is usually, I don't know, in terms of carport, it's how many cars you want to park. So that's the first one. And the second one is color. And when you color it in the desired color and you say park 2 cars, that's immediately the picture they have in their mind. So engagement goes up drastically. And this is how we really can start capturing the demand and let customers, ask us to do business, not the other way around. The second one is to display the product in 3D. So customers really like it when they can turn it around, where they can zoom in, zoom out, where they can see realistically how this product looks like. And 3D really gives that experience. And we try to, support as many customers as possible to go with 3D presentation of their product. Then the last part is keeping the design intuitive and clear and adding extra information to guide the choices and to help clear out information where they are mostly needed. So, for example, if you have different types of options available in the carport example for a roof, it's really good to explain what are the differences between different roof types, because usually customers don't know them, but you do because you're the expert. So customer experience is the driving factor of the engagement, and the engagement is the driving factor of the demand. Then the funnel. So we usually go with a really simple build and price funnel. It's of course powered by marketing efforts, so advertising. But what is important, we use a 3-step funnel. So we first take the advertising part, we do some, visual or textual ads, distribute them on the platform, different platforms. But what is important, they all lead to a single website where we have a structured product presentation, where we explain the what, the how, and the benefits of the product. And this serves as a first filtering point. So whoever doesn't read that will probably not continue on to the configurator. So we immediately remove a part of the traffic. And then there's the second part, is actually the build and price configurator. So the build and price configurator is then engaging customers, capturing demand, which turn into quotations automatically. So sales start their work with a quotation, price calculation, and all the desires that the customer expressed through the configurators. So no more emails, no more phone calls, no more back and forth communication. You get everything really clear through the build and price funnel. Another one is joining. Through the build and price funnel, which operates really well. What is also important is to optimize this funnel through time. So this is where the growth starts to happen. So first one is to really nail the targeting and retargeting. How this looks like, for example, somebody visits your website but doesn't go use the configurator. So you can just say, okay, I want to show a different kind of advertisement to somebody who did that scenario. So visited the website but didn't fill out the configurator. Then you have people that have went through the website, went to the configurator, but didn't submit an inquiry. So you can retarget them separately. But what is the most powerful part is once they submit the configuration, you can track what we call a conversion, and then use that to build really specifically targeted audience. And this process works in any industry. I will show you later on a few examples from different industries, and you will see that you can do that basically anywhere. Once the quotations arrive into the sales team, the process usually takes a more manual approach. So the sales guys can now come in and start to help the customer, guide them towards confirming the quotation and placing an order. They surely have a lot more time to do that because they don't need to deal with quotations. So how the selling actually looks like. So it's the marketing brings us potential leads. They go through the configuration experience on your website and they receive a quote via email, and this quote is actually being monitored. So we give you the information, how many times it was viewed, how much time did they spend viewing it, and we also provide some insight into how deep they were discovering the quotation. And they have an automated option on the quotation to confirm it directly or request changes to be made from the sales team. For the Carport example that we were looking at, they even have the possibility to go back to the configuration and do some edits. Why is this powerful? Because what we observe is that, you know, everybody starts with big eyes, so to call it. So they have a they go for the most expensive option on their first try, but then return back to the configurator once they know the price range and start playing with the options to get a feeling for, you know, what the different options, how do they contribute to pricing. So they on average create 2 to 3 different quotations to reach that, you know, price performance ratio that I was explaining at the beginning. So to find the product that you know, fulfills their desire or needs, but it's still at the price point that they can afford. So that's a really powerful motion that's going on there, and they are doing everything by themselves, so totally self-service. So this is how you create customers. Why is this better? So first of all, the focus in sales is actually on helping customers and closing deals. Before, it was mostly on the quotations. So a large chunk of time is spent on quotations. The second part is that customers self-sell to themselves visually. So they choose all the options, they visualize the product, they wanted that product, so they send an inquiry, they play with the price quote at the end, so they know exactly what they are buying. It's really efficient. It's low stress for the sales team because you just need to guide the customer towards placing an order. It's 10 times faster, and it has real-time product visuals. It's also very measurable. As you will see, it's very repeatable and very predictable. So the majority of companies that use the build and price funnel to drive traffic to their build and price configurator, they use a campaign that is, you know, just rolling constantly, or they can turn it on and off once they get enough inquiries to fill their sales team. So it's really predictable and really repeatable. And what is most important is that you move away from the push strategy and transition to the lead abundant pull strategy. So customers are asking you, they would like to buy from you, and they tell you exactly what they want to buy from you. So in the course of the last 3 years, we helped more than 100 companies achieve market domination. And then what I'm gonna show you now is based on our real but aggregated data. So no company names, only numbers for specific periods and how they play with the customer demand that we observed before through Google Trends. So we already saw the Carport example. So this is nothing new, but we did the same in the industrial machinery market. So very specialized machines sold in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. So it's 318 inquiries worth like 20 million euros in the last 18 months. We did the same on the pergola market. We did the same for garage doors in UK. We did the same for outdoor kitchen markets. We did the same for prefabricated houses like sheds, garden houses. And overall, the build and price configurators convert inquiries into quotes automatically. So you can quote really fast and focus on closing deals instead of just doing or being a sales administration robot the entire day. And if demand exists, you can check that out with Google Trends tool. You can capture it with the build and price configurator. So this has been proved like 100+ times in several different verticals, B2B, B2C. So it can be repeatedly achieved. And here are the 4 reasons why we advise our customers to quote 10x faster and why that matters. So first of all, you produce very satisfied customers or prospects. So they receive all the information almost in real time. They have a playground where they can do everything by themselves, which is very desired in today's economy. You can outperform your competitors because you are faster at everything. You have higher sales productivity, so salespeople focus on closing deals instead of doing administration, and it usually brings faster lead time because products and configurations are technically clear when they enter your production line. So that's also really important. So there's no guesswork and no product modifications when the production is already planned. So how do you know if it works for your products? We composed a checklist that we regularly use also in our sales process to assess if somebody or some company will be successful with the strategy that I just presented. So first of all, the product needs to be complex and customizable. What that means is it must have at least 4 customizable parts to make the effort worthwhile. The process of inquiries, quotes, and orders must be manual or semi-automatic. You must have a desire to capture or even beat the competitors. So you want to grow, and that's a really important attribute for us. Customers have a hard time understanding your product because it is so complex. They don't know what they're buying exactly. They cannot visualize it. So this is where we can really bring value. And then there are frequent configuration and pricing errors because of all the logic of the product is so complex, and the price must be above 2,000 euros. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to do much advertising because the margins are usually too low. And how we usually approach projects, or how we usually approach, starting this market domination process, is a demo call with us. We go through your case, we check if it fits what we are doing, and if we can help you out. We check if there's demand for the product that you are selling and if we can capture it. And then the second step is we organize and upload your product data to our platform, where we then create a build and price configurator and share it with your customers. And we can usually achieve that in a matter of 30 days. So the platform that we built, the SaleSqueze platform, is really powerful and really fast to delivering these experiences to the market. And as you saw, you can have a channel up and running in 30 days, and in 90 days, you could be well on the way to reach your success goals. So it could be also done this year. So now I would like to invite everybody to join me on a strategy call if you want. So here is the link to my Calendly. You can book a strategy meeting directly with me if you want. And we can look your product and how you approach things, and we can debate if there's a potential to do something like this also in your market. Now it's a few minutes for the Q&A. We are exactly on time. So if anybody has any questions, please just write it in the chat or turn on your microphone and you can ask directly.
Hi, on Jack here. I have a question for you.
Yes.
I always have the feeling that it's a big disadvantage. We are in business to business, basically. I always have the feeling that there's a big disadvantage in having a big transparency in the pricing strategies. Of course, when we would decide to make such a configurator on our homepage, also our competitors, everybody knows what the pricing of our product is. What is your opinion about this transparency in the pricing?
We see this a lot in B2B space. So what we usually do, we support several different scenarios, and the B2B companies usually decide to place a configurator on the website without the pricing and without the automated price quote feature. So what happens is you have a configurator on the website, you have a B2B configurator that is solely for your existing customers that have a login, and all the inquiries from the public configurators come into your sales department, and then you decide who gets the quotations. So this is the usual scenario for the B2B. So we don't show prices on the public configurator.
And like you say, basically it's possible to make an area without the pricing and a closed area with logins, etc., with the pricing.
Yes, of course, exactly. And most B2B companies do go that way. Our largest customer, for example, is doing business like this on 85 markets on all continents of the world. So they have a closed section for their existing distributors and dealers where they can, create configurations. They have their own price lists and their own terms, discounts, everything is inside the platform. So when they do a configuration, it's easily transferable to the ERP system. But so they don't share the pricing publicly.
Great, Leon, thank you.
You're welcome.
You also answered one question. The configurator itself is always on the site, on the homepage of your customer, or do you have is the user of the configurator on an external site?
So it could be implemented directly into the website. It could be implemented on the external side. It could be implemented under your own domain. So it depends on scenarios and decisions that the company makes. So what we usually do is we go for embedding into the website. And that's how we capture, let's say unknown buyers, so the website visitors, and convert them into inquiries. But for the B2B part, we usually mask it under your domain. So it seems like, one steady experience.
Okay, great. Thank you. And last question. You talked about the conversion tracking, the retargeting, etc., etc. So basically the digital marketing part about it. Is that also done by SaleSqueze, or is it done by the company itself?
We provide guidance. We provide all the instructions, templates. The platform itself has this capability already implemented. So you just connect to your advertising accounts via Google Tag Manager, but companies usually work with some marketing agencies to help them build the funnel and optimize it as they go. So we provide a lot of guidance and we help you set it up, but we don't do that.
Great, Leon. That were my questions. Very interesting presentation, and I'm still pretty positive about the product you promoted here.
Great, thank you. Anybody else has something to ask? Otherwise, I'm gonna also share my, or you also all have my email and LinkedIn, and you can just connect with me there, or book a call if you want to go over a topic, and I would be more than happy to help you. So that is it from our side today. Hope you had a nice time. Hope you learned a lot. And I would like to thank you again for joining us. And like I said, if you have any questions, here's the contact info to reach out directly to me. So have a nice day.